Prashant, you can start.
Okay. Audible alla, sir?
Yes, you are audible. You can start.
Okay, thank you. A very good morning and happy Engineers Day to all. I, Mr. Prashant Payam, welcome all for the Engineers Day celebrations and felicitation of engineers, which is organized by Sanatana Sampradhisthana, Mysore, in association with Rotary Club of Mysore West. Prayer is an action. It is the process of talking to God in order to achieve a purpose. So let us begin this program by seeking the blessing of the Lord Almighty. Vakratunda Mahakaya Koti Surya Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarva Karyeshu Sarvada. Now I request Dr. Ramchandra CG, the Managing Trustee of Sanatana Sampradhisthana, to welcome and introduce the chief guest of today's program. I also request him to welcome the distinguished engineers, invitees, faculty members, and the audience. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. A very good morning, one and all. I take this opportunity on behalf of Sanatana Sampradhisthana, Mysuru, to welcome today's chief guest, Dr. R.G. D'Souza, Principal, Enopoya Institute of Technology, Mudibidre. Invited engineers, Sri Ramesh Kumar, Industrial Expert, Center of Excellence in Aeronautics and Defense, Bengaluru. Sri K. Surya Prakash, Vice President and Head of Plant, JSW Energy Limited, Vijayanagara, Ballari. Dr. G.P. Chandradhara, Professor of Civil Engineering, Head Department of CTM, SJ College of Engineering, JSS Science and Technology University, Mysuru, and Sri Raghavendra M. Deshpande, Associate Vice President, Profinch Solutions Private Limited, Bengaluru. I also welcome Dr. Raghavendra Prasad MD, President, Rotary Club of Mysore West, Sri Lokesh CG, President, Dr. Shantara Jaras and Srimati Bhagya Gopal, Board of Trustees, Sanatana Sampradhisthana. Finally, I welcome all the guests, invitees, faculty members, and all the audience. Sanatana Sampradhisthana Trust is a non-profit organization situated at Mysuru, Karnataka, India, has been serving the society and supporting noble causes since 2020. Since the time of its inception and through the process of its evolution, the sole essence of Sanatana Sampradhisthana Trust has always been for the benefit of the society, to guide, to help, to educate, to empower and enrich the knowledge of any individual or group of people. The trust provides a broad range of social services to all the categories of people. These services are available regardless of age, religious preference, gender, economic status, etc. Some of the programs that Sanatana Sampradhisthana Trust is associated with include Sanatana Research and Training Institute, Skill Development Center, coaching centers, employment center, and a few more are Sports Academy, Cultural Academy, Organics and Herbal Ayurvedic Center, Healthcare Center, Meditation Center, Yoga Center, and many more. I salute all the engineers on the occasion of Engineers Day who have rendered their services to the betterment of the society. Engineering is not merely knowing and being knowledgeable. Engineering is not merely analysis. Engineering is not merely the possession of the capacity to get elegant solutions to non-existent engineering problems. Engineering is practicing the art of the organized forcing of technological change. The role of an engineer does not end at achieving the title, rather goes much beyond for the larger good of the society. It is only through engineers that all scientific advancements and inventions reach the masses. An engineer is a person who applies the skills and knowledge of basic science for the good of the society. Remember, your work may be only to sweep a railway crossing, but it's your duty to keep it so clean that no other crossing in the world is as clean as yours. So these are some of the quotes by the Vishwesvaraya. Hard work performed in a disciplined manner will in most cases keep the worker fit and also prolong his life. Finally, the work hard, work harder, work with efficiency, work in cooperation spirit, work with a team spirit to make your country great, self-supporting and strong. So with this, I will welcome once again each and every one of you, and let me introduce today's chief guest, Dr. R.G. D'Souza. Dr. R.G. D'Souza, better known among the Engineering Academy fraternity and students as RD, is a dynamic personality and an engineering professional with a rich experience of 2 decades in academics, administration, and research domain in concrete technology. He has also taken assignments as a civil engineering and structural consultant, quality control, and technical team member for private and government bodies and ULB in DK and Udupi district as a prolific professional. His strong academic credentials include doctorate in civil engineering from NITK Surathkal and MTech in structural engineering and BE in civil engineering from MIT Manipal. He is a chartered engineer and an approved valuer for immovable properties. He is a life member of professional bodies like the Indian Concrete Institute, Association of Consulting Civil Engineers, ISTE, and the Fellow of Institute of Engineers and Institute of Values, India. He is a fellow of the Academy of General Education, Manipal, and the life member of Kodagu Dakshina Kannada Udupi Engineers Association. He is the reviewer of the International Journal of Engineering Research and Technology, trainer in soft skills, and motivational speaker for professionals and students. He was the internal auditor for ISO 9001-2008, member board of examiners in civil engineering VTU Belagavi, and also the member of LIC expert committee VTU Belagavi. He has presented many papers in national and international conferences and also published papers in reputed international journals. He has guided total 14 UG and PG projects. He is also a research supervisor in civil engineering under VTU Belagavi. He has been a recipient of the Award of Excellence in the field of engineering education by Institution of Engineers India and Kodagu Dakshina Kannada Udupi Engineers Association on the occasion of Engineers Day in the year 2016. Currently, he is heading the Inopaya Institute of Technology, Mudvidre, as its principal from July 2016. Once again, I welcome each and every one of you for this today's function. So we are celebrating Engineers Day celebrations and felicitation of engineers. Over to you, Prashant.
Thank you, sir. Sir, video is not proper. Video is not.
Is it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Struck.
Okay, I think you can start.
Thank you, sir. Now we will move on to Engineers Day celebration, a tribute to Sir M. Vishwesvaraya. I request Dr. Ramchandra Siji, the Managing Trustee of Sanatana Sampradhisthana, to proceed. Over to you, sir.
A tribute to our most eminent engineer, Dr. Mokshagundam Vishwesvaraya, on Engineers Day. I will give you some information about the Sir M. Vishwesvaraya. Mokshagundam Vishwesvaraya was born on 15 September 1861 into a Telugu Brahmin. His father, Mokshagundam Srinivasa Shastri, was a school teacher and a noted Sanskrit scholar, while his mother, Venkatalakshamma, was a homemaker. Vishveshwaraya was born in the Muddenahalli village in the princely state of Mysuru at that time. Now it is under Karnataka. Vishveshwaraya lost his father at the age of 15. He attended primary school in Chikkaballapur and high school in Bangalore in the year 1881. He has received a BA degree from Central College, Bangalore. He then enrolled at College of Engineering, Pune. He received a LC, that is Licentiate in Civil Engineering, equivalent to DCE, Diploma in Civil Engineering, from the University of Bombay. Vishveshwaraya took a job with the PWD of Bombay and later was invited to join the Indian Irrigation Commission. He implemented an extremely intricate system of irrigation in Deccan. He designed and patented a system of automatic water floodgates that were first installed in the year 1903 at Kadakvalsa Reservoir near Pune. In the year 1906 to 1907, Government of India sent him to Aden to study water supply and drainage systems. The project prepared by him was implemented in Aden successfully. Vishveshwaraya achieved celebrity status when he designed a flood protection system for city of Hyderabad. He was instrumental in developing a system to protect Vishakhapatnam port from sea erosion. Vishveshwaraya supervised construction of Krishnaraja Sagara Dam, which is well knownly called as KRS Dam, on the Kaveri River. This dam created the biggest reservoir in Asia when it was built. Vishveshwaraya gave his valuable technical advice for the location of Mokamma Bridge over Ganga River in Bihar. At the time, he was over 90 years old. He was called father of modern Mysore state. He encouraged private investment in the industry during his tenure as Diwan of Mysore. He was instrumental in charting out the plan for road construction between Tirumala and Tirupati. During November 1909, Vishveshwaraya was appointed as Chief Engineer of Mysore State. Further, during 1912, he was appointed as Diwan's second minister of the princely state of Mysore. He was Diwan for 7 years. With the support of Krishnaraja Wadiyar IV, Maharaja of Mysore, Vishveshwaraya made good contribution as Diwan to the all-around development of the Mysore state. He was instrumental in the founding of the Government Engineering College at Bangalore in the year 1917, one of the first engineering institutions in India. This institution was later named the University Vishveshwaraya College of Engineering after its founder. After India attained independence, he was awarded the nation's highest honor, that is the Bharat Ratna, in the year 1955. When he reached the age of 100, the government of India brought out a stamp in his honor. Sir M. Vishveshwaraya passed away on 14th of April 1962 at the age of 102. His alma mater, the College of Engineering, Pune, erected a statue in his honor. The Vishveshwaraya Industrial and Technological Museum, Bangalore, is named in his honor. Engineers Day is celebrated on Sir M. Vishveshwaraya's birthday, 15 September every year. Throughout his career of about 30 years as an engineer, 20 years as administrator, and 20 years as advisor and statesman, Sir M. Vishveshwaraya contributed significantly in nation building, and his engineering works were spread across the country. His contribution was not just in engineering infrastructure projects like dams and bridges, but he has also been instrumental in setting up of several industries and sectors, including iron, steel, soap, silk, sugar, banking, and aeronautics. These major qualities are honesty and work ethics, discipline, free from ego, and dedication and excellence. And he is identified or called in India as the father of Indian engineer, India's greatest civil engineer, Hyderabad's savior, inventor of the block system, Bharat Ratna with a British knighthood. So an engineer is not only someone who has the knowledge of design and execution, but also stands by ethics, dedication, and excellence. And Sir M. Vishweshwaraya is the epitome of all these values. So with this brief introduction of Sir M. Vishweshwaraya, so over to you, Prashant.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. R.G. D'Souza, Principal, Yenapaya Institute of Technology, Mudabidri, to deliver Engineers Day speech. Engineers for a self-reliant India. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Prashant. Prashant, I would like to share my screen. Is it possible?
Yeah. I
Sir.
will remove this. It's possible. You can share it now, sir. You can start sharing now.
Yeah. If the moment the slide is open, I'll start it.
Okay,
Just
sir.
a minute. Yeah. Can you see the PowerPoint opening up?
Still it is opening.
Yeah. Just a minute. Yeah. So let me begin now. Good
Yes.
morning to all the participants on this Engineers Day felicitation as well as Engineers Day celebration. First and foremost, I take this as my privilege to present the Engineers Day theme speech. The theme for today's Engineers Day, as per Institution of Engineers, is Engineers for a Self-Reliant India. Again, I deem it my privilege to address stalwarts engineers, Sri Ramesh Kumar, COE A&D Bangalore, Sri K. Surya Prakash, Dr. G.P. Chandradhara, Sri Raghavendra M. Deshpande, and also my teaching friend, Dr. Ramchandra C.G., and also my earlier colleague, Mr. Prashant Pai. Dr. Ramchandra has rightly paid a tribute to Sri Mokshagundam Vishweshwaraya, Sir MV, as he is commonly known. I would like to begin this with a quote from James A. McKenna. Scientists dream about doing great things and engineers do them. And on this Engineers Day, what would be a better theme than Engineers for a Self-Reliant India? I would just brush upon what is this that is happening in India regarding self-reliance and what role engineers have to play. So this is a small slideshow wherein I have just made some points which I will be just speaking upon. There are two things which have been very much in vogue and which has been put up by our national leaders and also the leadership in India. Two terms, one is called as self-sufficiency and self-reliance. And I was just reading through an essay which was written by a philosopher and poet, Emerson, Ralph Emerson. These are two virtues in isolation, meaning to say, when you are alone, self-sufficient.
Sir,
Yeah.
your screen is not visible. Only the blank screen we can see here.
Now.
Can you share it once again?
No. Now can you see?
No.
1 minute. I'll share it again. Now?
Still it is not coming.
Okay. I will reshare it.
Yes.
Visible now?
Still only the blank sheet we are getting.
No, sir. Not visible.
Okay.
No.
As I was saying, this self-sufficiency and self-reliance, these are two virtues in isolation, meaning to say, when people are alone or when we are isolated, self-sufficiency and self-reliance are virtues. But in the world, we are not alone. and in this era of globalization, when world is the market, this self-sufficiency and self-reliance cannot be termed as virtues, but rather it is the new mantra which is making India a technology leader. And what is the objective that has to be attained by the clarion call given by our leadership for self-sufficiency and self-reliance is we should become a technology leader, make all the people move up to the skill ladder, be competitive so that the world is after us to get our goods, create enough job opportunities for all, and much above all this is see that all the inhabitants or all the citizens, the per capita income is such that we are above the poverty line. So the mantra, the current mantra is nothing but we have to have skills, productivity, competitiveness, and technology leadership. Self-reliance is not a new concept for India. Right from the beginning, from the post-independence period, India has been doing a lot of things on self-reliance and self-sufficiency. And Sir MV is aptly remembered for the industrialization of India. That is heavy investments that were done post-independence in power plants, steel plants, fertilizer plants, refineries. Over the years, India has become a big industrial center, engineering industries, process industries, defense manufacturing, communication systems, space, nuclear plants. While we started making almost everything from pin to aircraft, somewhere down the line, we started depending on foreign sources for the technologies, to modernize our industries, to adopt world-class processes. We started with import substitution, then phased manufacturing programs being done instead of outright import. And then came the 1999 or 91 reforms, which made India competitive through liberalization, privatization, and globalization also crept in. It brought in foreign investments, foreign technologies, and India did become a part of the world supply chain. But neither the public sector nor the major private sector entrepreneurs invested enough in R&D, tech development, capability, and the easy route was Indian companies just tied up with foreign players. The private players concentrated on maximizing profits rather than building capabilities for long term. Now, India is not such a competitive nation just like other nations like Korea, US, or Germany, or Japan, where entrepreneurship was developed, which led to technology development, markets, better goods manufactured in low-cost countries, and maximized profitability. The the current slogan which has been put up by the leadership, and wherein even on the Engineers Day emphasis is that engineers have to play a role on making India self-reliant. Without concrete ideas on how to attract or retain talent, providing low-cost capital, how to provide funds for massive R&D projects, incentivizing world-class R&D institutions will not make us to go further. If you have to perform like Japan, Korea, or Taiwan, it cannot be done overnight. It requires at least few years. We need a technocratic government. We need massive funding from government. We need a proper legal framework, exit policies, and our banking system also should think about low-cost financing. This whole thing needs a new design. And ultimately, the role played by us engineers comes to the fore. It is not just by providing technical skills, but also skilling the youth, providing entrepreneurship opportunities, innovation. Lastly, we need self-sufficiency, but more important is competitiveness. So let us all educated people realize, including engineers, nothing is wrong in importing, but as long as we do a lot of value addition on the imports. This self-sufficiency concept should not trap us in a low competitive, low innovation mode. Nothing wrong in importing, but export more. Let consumer get the best product, get best value, best service, and let also industry and workers be competitive. In this pandemic situation, the whole world has got stranded and fighting against this dreadful disease, COVID-19, and trying to overcome this. But countries cannot be kept under lockdown for a long term. Economy will suffer. In order to maintain, there should be a balance between opening the industry as well as opening up the markets. Now, coming to the point, the developing industries like India can see as a wonderful opportunity to strengthen themselves and boost up the economy which is now we call self-reliant India. The only meaning is to manufacture the maximum products in our country with indigenous resources. And that is where we engineers have to live up to the expectations. There are several ways that India can become self-dependent, but several ways should have a systematic approach. So what would be the systematic approach? The systematic approach is very simple, and as engineers and engineering fraternity and as teachers working in engineering colleges and also as technocrats working in engineering companies, the three things which are to be taken up is, one is research and analysis. Research is the most important thing because we should know where we stand. Outrightly boycotting a product suddenly should not be a thing of fashion, but rather it should be there should be a proper roadmap as to what we have to do if something is not available through imports. For example, mobiles, automobiles. I remember a scene from a movie wherein a young star comes up to a podium in an economic forum and says, the best thing that India has is population. It must be on the funnier side. But what he told was, it is very easy to, even if 1 rupee is given by a single person from the whole population, we have 1.3 billion rupees. So that is what was told. So these ideas, idea generation, ideathons, innovation, these need a research platform and analysis platform. Then the other thing is promoting local products. Now, local products means it is not Swadeshi, but indigenous products, wherein a lot of value addition is done through engineering and technology. This is how China or imported products sales can be reduced. But creating demand and infrastructure is the third point that has to be going into the process planning. Requirements to manufacture, develop indigenously by in indigenous companies such as infrastructure, research and development center, skill development center. These are the need of the hour. To come to the end of my speech, the use of technology should be prominently done in India because this is the age where world is changing, wholly dependent on technology. India is known as IT hub, and just thinking about low-cost labor providers for the information technology should not be the only foray, but technology should be wisely used, keeping an eye on it because it helps each and every sector. Similarly, I remember Sri Ramesh Kumar sir's COE, Center of Excellence in Aerospace and Defense, wherein we also have used a lot of the facilities or a lot of the skilling programs they have been doing up, wherein defense is the new arena in India, wherein products are indigenously developed, and our light combat aircrafts, which are in demand all over the world, has really made us technology leaders. Similarly, defense also plays an important role. This sector is important as defense equipment, which is being used in our country, is normally imported either from US, Russia, Israel, or even France for that matter. Here, the government needs to innovate the existing manufacturing sector and develop some new advanced manufacturing units, and we as engineers need to play a role in it. India has now become a global market, so there is a need for self-dependence rather than buying and using imported products. So the time has come to change things, move to a new era of development in each and every aspect. It is an old adage, meaning to say the necessity is the mother of invention. Now it is not necessity, rather self-sufficiency is the need for innovation. So that is what is required. The Indian community subscribes, especially the Indian engineering community, subscribes to the philosophy of self-reliance and self-sufficiency and has done it itself proud. This, what I mean to say is, wherever there is a technological advancement, there has been a need for self-reliance, there has been a need for self-sufficiency, ably supported by engineers. Leadership in India would come by only when all those who have authority and money use not only for their own gain, but also for the benefit of those who lack them. Participative governance rather than merely government can drive the change. Public participation, continuous and tireless hard work are the instruments that can provide India the leadership baton. We can be called as world leaders. Right now, we are being only recognized as a country which is having a largest population of youth, largest population of engineers. But to become world leaders, where the world will watch the country as an embodiment of vibrancy, equity, and intellect in a market-driven economy. In an inclusive environment, Indian engineering community has to work up towards achieving reliance and self-sufficiency. I redistribute and more powerful groups to poorer groups that may face limited opportunities should be pursued by all of us. The ultimate goal should be reduction of poverty through equitable pursuit of prosperity, and the engineering community will harness and manage the natural resources with the equity lens and demand level playing field. So efforts are required not only from the government side but also from the engineering fraternity, because we have a lot of engineers who are just looking for a job. But what is to be done is to look in for a new concept, a new technology, or an innovation. There is a clear path to lead India to global leadership in engineering and technology and become self-reliant in these years. The country has resources, the institutions, and also the mindset. Engineers, as engineers, we need to work towards a fusion of our positive achievements. This is the essential condition for India's path towards self-reliance, an emergent role in global engineering and technology. With the seamless engineering and technology capabilities, that is, our students who are coming out from engineering colleges, tempered by social and political systems, Indian engineers, I hope, can be the harbinger to development of economy of the country in the post-pandemic regime. We are looking towards opening up a new page in history. Everybody would be saying that 2020 is a lost year, but we as engineers should not lose hope. It is not a lost year, but a year to retrospect. Hope this Engineers Day would be the beginning for a new hope in the post-pandemic regime. With this, I would like to end this talk on Engineers Day and the role of engineers on making India self-reliant. Thank you once again, and wish you all of you happy Engineers Day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful and very informative talk on engineers for a self-reliant India. Thank you very much. Now, we will move on to the facilitation of engineers. I request Dr. Ramchandra Siji, the Managing Trustee of Sanatana Sampradhisthana, to start the felicitation program. Over to you, sir.
Once again, happy Engineers Day to all. And today we have a 4-star engineering category. So I'll introduce them one by one. Firstly, Shri Ramesh Kumar. Shri Ramesh Kumar has obtained BE in Mechanical Engineering from College of Engineering, Trivandrum, and MTech in Aeronautical Engineering from IIT Madras. He is an aeronautical engineering expert with 44 plus years of enriched experience. He started his career as a design trainee at HAL Bangalore. He worked as an aeronautical engineer, Flight Control System Development Department and Design Bureau at HAL Bangalore. He has served Jet Airways for 10 years as engineering training instructor, responsible to teach the AMAs and technicians on ATR 72, Boeing 737, Airbus 330, 340 and Boeing 777. He has conducted DGCA approved courses for these aircrafts as well as familiarization courses. He passed the DGCA AME exam for airframe and engine. He worked as flight control system consultant at NAL to modify SARAS flight control system. He has worked as an aircraft system consultant, light transport aircraft design group, and was responsible for various system specification preparations, including FBW system. He worked as associate professor and HOD of aeronautical engineering at Karavali Institute of Technology, Mangalore for 3 years. Currently, he is working as visiting professor at Department of Aeronautical Engineering, Srinivas Institute of Technology, Mangaluru, and also an industrial expert at Center of Excellence in Aeronautics and Defense at Bangalore. He was involved with high performance, sharp, talented, and experienced aircraft mechanical systems as an engineering manager with experience in aircraft mechanical system design, production, manufacturing, and supporting the ATR 72, Boeing 737, Airbus 330, 340, and Boeing 777. He was responsible for leading the engineering team for the design, development, testing, and qualification of flight control, landing gear, hydraulics, environmental, propulsion, and fuel systems. Also, he has worked closely with engineering leadership and the integrated product team, support manufacturing, flight test, and mentor team members. He has conducted classroom and practical training, includes certification training for engine or ATU qualifications, aircraft recurrent or refresher training, familiarization training, and system line maintenance training on assigned aircraft or on assigned systems for employees and customers. Is also familiar with product lifecycle management tools, requirements management tools, and configuration management. With this brief information about Sri Ramesh Kumar, over to you, sir. Sir, you can unmute yourself and you can start, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Ramchandra, and thank you for the Sanantana Sampradana for celebrating me on this occasion. I think I do agree what the principal of Enopaya told Dr. D'Souza, that we engineers have a lot of work to do to come up and be self-sufficient. There is a difference between Sir Visvesvarayya's work and the present work that we are doing. The people nowadays, they don't have a lack dedication. That's what I can say. This dedication has to be brought in. I do not know how it can be implied, but basic thing is it should come from the institute they study. So I'll say that all engineering college should try to give little bit of education on the dedication point of. And basically the projects they take it up, which I had seen, are very light or just like that of no values. I will request all the professors and associate professors to take care of this and do some justice to it. And basically, they should do something which is innovative, creative, and which can be new. They should not repeat what somebody else has done. That's what I can say to the teaching staff of various colleges. Because I have gone through a series of vivas for the final years and find that the quality is very less. Now I work for the Center of Excellence. This is basically the standard of engineers who are passing are not industrial ready. We do teach the people who join our courses something so that when they come out of it, they can get a job. They are ready to take some task on their own. That is what we are trying to do. I think we have done we have been existing for the last 3 years, out of which 6 months is on COVID and all those things gone. So practically 2 years we have done and trained around 4,000 people. Most of them has got job, good job. Basic thing is jobs which are technically good and which they have studied. So they get the job on the subject they have studied, which will give satisfaction and more dedication. We do conduct courses at the institute also. At present, we have 2 institutes like NMIT and Dayananda Sagar, where we go and take class along with their academic course, so that those people who attend the class, it is compulsory there, they will be slightly more talented than the other colleges, and they get jobs faster. So that is the main where we work on now. So Center of Excellence, we are not only taking class or dedicating things. We do something research also. At present, I am doing something which the D'Souza has told, that we should do something which is challenging. We should not repeat what others have done, other countries have done. We do something which is novel. Nobody has ever thought of. We should have made a perpetual motion engine without using fuel, without using anything, with natural energy only, not solar system, because solar system means in the night it doesn't work. Something which will work forever. I think if we make something that type, we'll be the first country to make it and use it. So I am thinking on that line, and maybe in another year I'll make a motor which is there. If it is become successful, that means we can generate power, electricity at very low rates. Only the maintenance of the bearings and everything will come in the picture. Other than that, nothing. And if the government develops, this can be put on aircraft or automobile, so that it doesn't need fuel. Something which I'll go back to say that how Ravana flew the Pushpak Viman, we also can make it. From mythology, we come to the practical life that without energy, we can fly. Another project that we are in the making is making a plane, like a drone, at present, to serve vertical takeoff and landing, as well as cruise at high speeds. It's a combination of fast aircraft as well as a helicopter. This is being done, and we are in the process of making a prototype. If that is there, then we do not need any aerodrome. Something like 30,000-40,000 crores is invested on aerodromes that we can save, and we'll be the first country in the world to have such a technology. So if we make it like that, so I suggest engineers to think in such a line, that is, we do something which others have not thought of. I think I remember reading a book, U-Turn India book, which was given to me by one of the professors in engineering college, which tells Indian technology was at the pinnacle during some 500-600 years back, but now we are in the rock bottom, brother. We are struggling to come up, where others have overtaken us. Now, if you read the book, you'll say U-Turn India means I, you, and everybody can turn India again back to that origin. So I request all of you to work for it so that India can come up. As India has to, only India can come up, then we can flourish, we can prevent poverty, everything can be done. So I request all of you, all engineers, to have dedication and think of something novel and make it work. So we will have great engineers like Visvesvaraya in India. Thank you for that.
Once again, I thank you, sir, for your the knowledgeable information to us. So next, we will move on to the next, the engineer, Sri Surya Prakash. So let me introduce Sri Surya Prakash. Has completed diploma and AMIE in mechanical engineering, PG diploma in finance management from IGNOU, and Master of Engineering in Heat Power from BIT Ranchi. He has also completed Strategic Leadership Development Program from IIM Ahmedabad. He is a chartered engineer and energy auditor. Currently, he is associated with JSW Energy Limited, Vijayanagara, Ballari, as Vice President and Head of Plant. He has received Award of Excellence in Energy Conservation for his energy saving initiatives in the industry. He was also recognized for his contribution in building agile and productive team and rebuilding the stalled plant in record time. He has handled erection, commissioning, operation and maintenance of power plants up to the capacity of 600 megawatt for the last 30 years. With this brief introduction, over to you, sir.
Dignitaries of this function. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir.
Yeah. Once again, sir, good morning to all of the dignitaries of this function and my dear friends. I am very fortunate and delighted to be one of the felicitating engineer and sharing a very eminent engineers. For this, I would like to thank all who nominated me for the felicitation. Sirs, an engineer who had served the society by dedicating many engineering marvels which made many lives to live in comfort even today. He is none other than Sir M. Visvesvaraya. To commemorate birthday of this great and legendary engineer is being celebrated on as an Engineer's Day on 15th of September. This great personality is known for an sincerity, time management, dedication. More importantly, he was a visionary of building modern India. He was recognized internationally on his contribution to harness the water resources for irrigation and drinking water. He is a decorated engineer with the highest award in India, Bharat Ratna. He was instrumental in building an educational and industrial revolution in Karnataka. Sirs, engineer is a professional who transforms thoughts into reality for the benefit of a society at large with an optimum resource utilization. Like other speakers said, this is what it is in fact. That is why the engineers is a base for any nation building. Sir MV was one of the best creation and a gift of God to the India. Sirs, Indias are those who operate on interface between science and society, like Sir Ramesh said, and engineers are the backbone for development and technology. Today, India has an important vision and mission in the areas of space research, defense development, rural development, renewable energies, agriculture and food processing, information and communication technology, education, etc. For all these, the need of an engineer with a vision and a passion to transfer the vision to reality, and the engineer should prepare to courageously think differently for the benefit of society and nation. The another greatest engineer, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's visionary of India, transforming a nation into a developed country. A tiny contribution of every engineer in fulfilling the vision to make India Atmanirbhar is a tribute to the nation and to the fraternity. So every engineer should have an ambition to live in a developed country in a short time to come. And the new way of education, I would like to request all educationists, new way of education should be definitely needed, like what Mr. Ramesh said, on testing the creativity and the capability to think shall be a part of a curriculum in the engineering studies. And sir, finally, I'm proud to be an engineer with a conviction for the society and for all the engineers. ಕರ್ನಾಡ ನಮಗೆ ಇಂತಹ ಮಹಾನುಭಾವವನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಹಾಗೂ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕನ್ನಡಮ್ಮನ ಮಡಿಲಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ತಾಯಿಗೆ ನಾವು ನಮನಗಳನ್ನು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸಿ ಈ ನನ್ನೆರಡು ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನು ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಫಾರ್ ಆಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ an opportunity to speak before you and remain in memory for a long time. Thank you so much for everyone who has given an opportunity.
Thank you very much, sir, for your the information word of them. Now I'll move on to the next, the engineer, Dr. G.P. Chandradhara. He has obtained his B in civil engineering from NIE Mysuru in the year 1984, M.Tech in industrial structures from NITK Surathkal in the year 1988, and PhD in earthquake geotechnical engineering from Kuvempu University in the year 2009. Currently is working as a professor in civil engineering and head department of CTM SJCE JSS Science and Technology University Mysuru. Since 1988 is working in the department of civil engineering SJCE Mysuru and actively involved in teaching UG and PG students, constructional activities of the college, structural consultancy works and research activities. He is a reviewer of technical papers in many international journals and conferences. He has presented and published 64 technical papers in various journals, national and international conferences. He has guided one PhD scholar and 55 M.Tech dissertation works. Currently, 5 candidates are pursuing PhD under his guidance. He is a subject expert in VTU EduSat program for the earthquake resistant design of structures. He has delivered a number of guest lecturers for teachers and working professionals in various institutions and government organizations. He is a technical review committee member for various government structures. He has developed manual shaking table, weight sounding equipment, and also developed structural dynamics laboratory at SJCE under TechWeb 2 grants. He has undergone international training on integrated coastal zone planning and management using geoinformation technologies at Asian Institute of Technology, Bangkok, Thailand. He is also involved in giving technical guidance for the 2 dilapidated heritage buildings in Mysore city. The Institution of Engineers India Mysore Center has honored him as an eminent engineer for his outstanding contributions in the field of engineering education, structural engineering, and earthquake engineering. ACCI India Mysore chapter and Ultratech Limited have awarded the Best Structural Engineer Award for his outstanding structures in Chamarajanagar and Mysore district. With this brief introduction of Dr. G.P. Chandradhara, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yeah. Today's chief guest, Dr. R.G. D'Souza, and Managing Trustee, Dr. Ramachandra C.G., and members, invitees, and a very good morning to one and all. First of all, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to Sanatana Samprathisthana Trust and Mysore West Rotary for recognizing and felicitating me on this occasion. I express my sincere gratitude for this kind gesture and I'm truly honored to receive it. I'm happy that the Trust and the Rotary are service oriented and have always been very active in all social platforms, and both are working as a single family towards a common generous mission. Here, I would like to share that I also belong to Rotary family, as my father, Rotarian G.R. Parameshwarappa, is associated with Rotary North since 3 decades. I'm happy that his involvement in Rotary kept him very active and energetic even at the age of 85. Well, today being September 15, Engineers Day is celebrated on the remembrance of Sir M. Vishwesvarayya's birthday. I do not want to again repeat about Sir MV's history. So Mr. Surya Prakash has narrated in detail very nicely. I would like to wish a very happy Engineers Day to all of you. As we all know, civil engineers play a significant role in the development of a nation. India is the second fastest growing economy in the world, and construction industry stands second largest contributor of overall India's GDP after agriculture. Our responsibility in India's growth is immense, and I'm proud that I'm a part of being a civil engineer. After the impact of COVID-19 pandemic, the new normal life has begun. Even this has been rightly narrated by our chief guest in today's chief guest address. Today's scenario is changing with teaching and learning becoming digital. The statistics say that 90% of the students were affected, and researchers claim that the scale of disruption has surpassed anything we have seen in the post-war era. The universities, including our universities, have taken the lead in educating students through online platforms, as well as conducting exams to ensure that students are not shortfall of any academic needs. Though the initiatives of digital education are in continuation, there are a quite few challenges in enforcing it. However, there has been increased digital advancements in all sectors. We are seeing tremendous growth even in the field of construction technology and management. It is very unfortunate that this situation of pandemic has made even today's felicitation program being conducted online. I'm extremely sorry I could not meet you all personally. Anyway, I should thank both the organizations for taking this initiative and make this function an online. Though I'm receiving this honor today, I would like to dedicate this to all my family members, friends, and my colleagues who have always supported me in all stages of life. I would like to congratulate all my friends being felicitated today, and I would again like to thank the whole team and both the organizations for providing this opportunity and a warm gesture. Thank you one and all. Thank you, sir. Over to you, Dr. Ramachandra, sir.
Sir, please unmute yourself.
Thank you very much, sir, for your the information about engineers. And now we'll move on to the last the engineer of today's felicitation program, Shri Raghavendra M. Deshpande. Shri Raghavendra M. Deshpande has completed his BE in Mechanical Engineering from UVC Bangalore, MTech in Mechanical Engineering from IIT Kharagpur, and MBA PGD SEM from IIM Bangalore. He has worked as Assistant Professor in Mechanical Engineering Department at Presidency University, Bangalore. He was the area product owner, Master Data Management at SAP Labs, Bangalore, Project Manager at IBM Global Services Private Limited, and consultant at Oracle Financial Services Software Limited. Currently is working as Associate Vice President at Profinch Solutions Private Limited, Bangalore. He has about 29 years of industrial experience in developing industry-leading banking products, implementing and supporting banking products at customer locations in Africa, Europe, Middle East, Philippines, Japan, Singapore, and Mauritius, and development of master data management applications and SAP HANA. Currently, he is working in the area of product development using big data, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and analytics. He is passionate about building electronic and robotics models and programming. With this brief introduction, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ramchandra. A very good morning to you all. Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. D'Souza, members and management of Sanatana Sampradhisthana and the Rotary Club, distinguished fellow engineers and dear friends. A very good morning to you all, and I wish you all a very happy Engineers Day. I thank you all for inviting me and felicitating me on this occasion of Engineers Day. It is indeed a great honor and privilege for me to be mentioned in the same breath as that of the other dignitaries from the industry and academia who are being similarly honored today. Today, the world is changing at a very fast pace in almost every field. You look at telecommunication or mobility or aerospace or any other field for that matter. We are pushing the existing boundaries with innovations, creativity, and a wealth of knowledge. It is engineers who are behind all this new development. All the products and services that we take for granted, that we all enjoy today, were conceptualized and built by engineers. But this development comes at a cost. What we engineers must be mindful about is about building a sustainable world. Natural resources are limited. Our exploitations of resources will harm our future generations. Engineers, therefore, must think out of the box, come up with some creative ideas to harness and use the resources that are available to us in the most prudent and sustainable way. In this regard, we actually can draw lessons from the life and work of the great engineer, Sir M. Visvesvaraya. The engineering education that he received made him not only a great thinker and visionary, but also a great statesman. His work made Mysuru a model state during his time. It is this kind of thinking and a larger vision that engineers must inculcate to understand nature in depth and think about contributing to our fellow men and the nation. There are many problems that the world faces in the areas of meeting the energy demand, availability of water resources to everybody, climate change, affordable healthcare, and many more. As engineers, we can make a difference by applying our knowledge and skill to develop products and services in a sustainable way and to help and improve the lives of our fellow human beings. On the occasion of this Engineers Day, it is important that we remember the life and work of Sir M. Visvesvaraya and remind ourselves that even one engineer with passion in his heart, with skill and knowledge, can transform a whole nation. I thank once again the organizers and all of you for honoring me and giving me an opportunity to share my thoughts. Thank you very much. Over to you, Dr. Ramchandra.
Yes, thank you very much, sir, for your informational the talk. Over to you, Prashant.
Thank you, sir. Now the platform is open to all. If anyone is interested to interact with any of the engineers, you can post it in the chat box. We'll unmute you.
Or you can unmute yourself. That option so have included.
Kindly post.
Unmute yourself. You can unmute yourself and you can speak with your engineer. So you want to say something about the engineer, so you can speak. This is a platform, it is for you only. You can unmute yourself, or else you post it in the chat box. I'll unmute you so that you can speak with the respective engineer. Still the platform is open. Anyone can interact with any engineer if you want to interact and to say a few words about them. which others are not knowing about him. So only the whatever the resume they have forwarded to me, I made it the brief introduction about them. There are some more the achievements of the engineers that everything it is not available in our resume. So you can quote that so that everyone can know about him. Prashant, you can continue with the next the proceedings. Prashant?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yes.
Now I request Dr. Raghavendra Prasad, MD, President, Rotary Club of Mysore West, to deliver the presidential remarks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Prashant. So, myself, Dr. Raghavendra Prasad from Rotary Mysore West. So it's a great privilege for me because I am also one of the member of the engineering fraternity. So it's a great honor to be with such as stalwarts of the eminent engineers of the community. Engineers makes the life better. This is exactly, and engineers make the life better with the use of technologies and so on. As our chief guest today, Dr. R.G. D'Souza, Principal, Enopoya Institute of Technology, made made a very important point that for this year's theme, that is Engineer for Self-Raised India, need a systematic approach to achieve this. It's very apt for what he told. One is research and analysis, promoting indigenous products, and infrastructure. Infrastructure is not only about material infrastructure, it is about knowledge infrastructure also. Apart from that, we had an opportunity to felicitate the eminent engineers of this engineering fraternity, starting with the first engineer, where we had an opportunity to interact was Sri Ramesh Kumar, where he emphasized on the importance of dedication, which is missing in the younger generation, and also stressed on innovations and some seriousness even in the project work, because once you start thinking in the early stages, it makes a chance to stand out of the crowd. That is very important to develop the concept of innovation and accepting challenges and working with some of the good projects even in their educational days. Next engineer for today who was felicitated was Mr. Surya Prakash, where he emphasized on the importance of vision, which is very much required for national building, and he emphasized how the vision is important in achieving the this year's PM's mantra, where it is Atmanirbhar India, and engineers have a greatest responsibility also to make India as Atmanirbhar. The next in the felicitated engineer was Dr. J.P. Chandradhara, who is a teacher for me, who was my MTech teacher and also was my PhD guide. So he emphasized the importance of civil engineers, where he stressed upon that the second largest contributor to the GDP after agriculture is constructions, and what is the role of civil engineers and the magnitude of role of civil engineers in national building. And lastly, the last engineer today was Raghavendra M. Deshpande, where he stressed upon not only about nation building, but he stressed on the importance of sustainable development and importance of vision in national building, where he quoted today's our mentor or our greatest personality in engineering fraternity, that is Sir MV, where he had the vision, where he made the difference. So in the entire state, Mysore stands apart as a sustainable and very good infrastructural part. So with this, once again, I want to thank the Sanatana Sampriti Trust for organizing such an beautiful program today, where we had an opportunity to meet with the stalwarts of the engineering fraternity, where one of the eminent engineer is also my guide. So thank you one and all. Thank you, Ramchandra. Over to you.
So once again, thanks for accepting our invitation both the chief guest of today's function as well as all the 4 stalwarts engineers. So still the platform is open, keep open. Anybody want to speak about any engineer? The one more last the chance we can give. You can speak with your the beloved engineer and say some more information about him. Really, we are blessed today. So that's a common platform. We could able to bring all the different the categories where they have worked to the society as an engineer. So definitely. So still anybody want to speak about any engineer? So you can speak. Just unmute yourself so that you can interact. So anyone? So already you have that option. You can unmute yourself and you can speak. Or else you put it in a chat box. I'll unmute you. So okay, thank you. Over to you, Prashant.
Thank you, sir. Gratitude is the essence of humanity. Now I thank today's chief guest, Dr. R.G. D'Souza, Principal, Ennapaya Institute of Technology, Mudubidri, for accepting our invitation to be the chief guest of today's program and delivering the Engineers Day speech. Thank you very much, sir. I thank all the invited engineers, Sri Ramesh Kumar, Industrial Expert, Center of Excellence in Aeronautics and Defense, Bangalore, Sri Surya Prakash, Vice President and Head of the Plant, JSW Energy Limited, Vijayanagara, Ballari, and Dr. G.P. Chandradhara, Professor of Civil Engineering, Head Department of CTM, SJ College of Engineering, JSS Science and Technical University, Mysore, Sri Raghavendra M. Deshpande, Associate Vice President, Profinch Solutions Private Limited, Bangalore, for sparing your very valuable time with us and sharing your thoughts. Thank you very much, sirs. I thank Dr. Ramchandra CG, Managing Trustee, Sanatana Sampradhisthana, and Dr. Raghavendra Prasada, MD, President, Rotary Club of Mysore West, for their involvement in organizing this program. Thank you, sirs. I also thank Sri Lokesh CG, President, Sri Shantaraja, Dr. Shantaraja Aras, and Srimati Bhagya Gopal, Board of Trustees, Sanatana Sampradhisthana, for the support extended in organizing this program. Finally, I thank all the participants, invitees, faculty members for your active participation in this program. Once again, I wish each and everyone a very happy Engineers Day. Thank you one and all.
Once again, at the end, so happy Engineers Day to everyone, and thanks for joining us and made our program a grand success. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you.